Joining us now in studio is Professor Ted Sasson of the Ruderman Family Foundation, a scholar in residence at the INSS. Hello, and thank you for being here, and Happy New Year to you.
Emily, Happy New Year. It's great to be here.
So now we are 2026. The war started in 2023. I mean, we've seen, so much change. But in your experience as a professor, as a scholar, studying this issue, has American Jewry distanced itself more from Israel over the course of time, and then just that much more exacerbated by October 7th and the war?
Yeah, I think that's true. And I should tell you, Emily, that for many, many years, I argued that American Jews were not distancing from Israel. But the new evidence is quite compelling that American Jewry is dividing, and that a large segment of American Jewry is increasingly skeptical of Israel. And of course, that's increasingly true of the younger generation of American Jewry. And this is a phenomenon that really just developed in the last 5-10 years. It has not been unfolding over a longer period of time. And yes, it accelerated as a consequence of the war. I should say, at first, the war consolidated American Jewish support for Israel. Yeah. But by the second year of the war, American Jews, of course, are in a very different media environment from Israeli Jews, in a different political culture, became increasingly critical of Israel's conduct in the war. And we see that in all kinds of evidence today.
Well, and not really having, the background. I remember my grandparents, they understood, they were part of kind of the formation of Israel and the whole idea of Zionism. But as the generations go on, especially in the U.S., many are fourth generation. It's not directly necessarily from the Holocaust. Is that also cut down from the fact that, you don't have that influence? Like, I remember my grandpa, I learned about Israel through him, not, from my parents, for example.
Yeah, well, I think the story is that American Jews are also Americans, and Israel's standing in the United States has really badly deteriorated over the context of this war. And younger Americans across the board have become quite critical of Israel and quite critical of the U.S.-Israel alliance. And American Jews are part of that environment and are, of course, influenced by it. But American Jewry is also changing. It's a community that is growing, but it's growing most rapidly among its least engaged, its least affiliated, it's episodically connected. And so the community's pro-Israel core is probably stable or shrinking. And most American Jews are, I would say, very critical of this Israeli government and very concerned about how Israel managed the war.
And I think many also don't realize that, Israel existing is, something happens to Israel, it's a big domino. And I think, where has it gone wrong? We know that, Israel needs the U.S., but the U.S. also needs Israel. Is it just not taught that this is a very important component?
Israel certainly needs the United States, and it certainly needs American Jewry to promote Israel's case in the United States. And that's why INSS, as a national security research institute, investigates American Jewry, because we're concerned about Israel's capacity to retain American support. And of course, American Jewry is a major factor in Israel's capacity to retain American support. But American Jews also need Israel. American Jewry has invested heavily in Israel. American Jews are committed to Israel as a central purpose in their Judaism, and American Jewish continuity, especially among the folks who are less engaged in Jewish life, has been promoted by Israel in large measure. Programs like Birthright Israel have been enormously important for the American Jewish community. Emily, can I flag one data point for you? Between 2000 and 2004, 50,000 participated, 50,000. In the previous 5 years, between 2016 and 2020, 225,000 participated. What that means is that in the last 5 years, 150,000 fewer young people participated in Birthright Israel. That has an enormous ripple effect on the American Jewish community. It began with coronavirus, and it continued through the war. The most important thing that the state of Israel needs to do to invest in the American Jewish community, because both communities need each other, is to reinvest in Israel Experience programs and then to build on those programs with new initiatives in higher education.
Connect. Many come here, it changes their life in a way that it's something you don't feel unless you're actually here. So it gets them engaged, and then, of course, they take it back with them. So tell us now about the paper that you've worked on quite hard. What have you found, and what are kind of the takeaways of how to tackle this issue?
Well, the central finding is that both Israel needs American Jewry and American Jews really need Israel. And Israeli policy, especially now that the war has wound down and we hope concluded, has to invest in the strength of the alliance between Israel and American Jewry. And Israel can do that by taking actions to improve its diplomatic standing in the United States, because Israel's deteriorated standing affects American Jewry. It fuels anti-Semitism. It weakens American Jewry. Israel can act to strengthen its position in the United States, needs to do that through policy changes that take into account the Republicans' need for Israel to align with U.S. national interests, with America first. But it can do that by pursuing policies that also have support among Democrats, that expand the Abraham Accords, that show that Israel's interested in diplomatic solutions. Those kinds of policy initiatives can enable Israel to get its public diplomacy right and communicate to an American audience that Israel is a valuable partner. If Israel can strengthen the alliance with the American public, it can help American Jews enormously, and it can help slow the spread of anti-Semitism, which of course Israel isn't responsible for, but Israeli policies have not helped to prevent.
What is, the fact that now the hostages are out, they're going and speaking to communities, do you think that is on a grassroots level something that can help now that people can actually relate when they see somebody that looks like them coming out of a tunnel and coming and speaking to them?
Absolutely. But what the American Jewish community needs is Israel's investment in programs like Birthright Higher Education programs that bring hundreds of thousands of American Jews to Israel to actually experience this country firsthand, to strengthen the alliance through strong interpersonal experiences and interpersonal connections. Without that kind of personal experiential bond, it's very difficult to promote an enduring and stable alliance. We also need to bring more Israelis and Israeli leaders, Knesset members, journalists to the United States to meet the American Jewish community.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and good work on this very comprehensive report. And let's hope that a year from now, maybe we'll have some further updates of some positive changes.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Emily.
Thank you.